Okay, this will be titled Test Review Day 1 is what you'll title the first piece of paper with your name on it. You'll need about 3 or 4 sheets of paper folded into 8s. That'll be enough. That should be enough. Remember, fold your paper into 8s. Fold it in half, then fold it in half, then fold it in half again. Okay? It should look like a little note in a rectangle. Open it back up and you'll start putting your problems. Guys, please, I'm going to read the question to you. Okay? And then you are going to solve it. I might give you a few hints or tips before, but you're going to solve it and give me your answer. And then I'm going to solve it for you. So if you did not get it correct, hopefully you pay attention to what I do so that you can fix it. Okay? This is a review. So it's super important because you have a CBA on Friday. Okay? So there's no reason to go up and say, I don't understand what to do. I don't know how to solve this problem. Patience. Do your best. I'm going to solve it for you. Okay? All right. Number 1. Kay and Jana found a piece of wood that measures 69 49/100 inches. Jana cut off 8 25/100 inches for her school project. Kay needs a piece of wood that measures about 55 5/10 inches in length for a building project. About how many inches will Kay need to cut off the remaining pieces of wood to get the final length of wood that she needs for her project? Okay, so I circled 69 49/100 inches is the total. Jenna cut off 8 25/100 inches. So cutting off, what are you doing? You're taking away, right? Okay, Kay needs a piece of wood that is about 55 5/10 inches in length. Okay, they want to know how much is Kay going to cut. So you have to first find how much Jana took off the wood. Okay, but all of this is going with about, which means rounding. In your notes, in your journal, page 15, we start talking about decimal estimation. So check your notes if you don't remember what to do. Okay, estimating decimals was page 15. So is the answer A, about 48 inches, B, about 61 inches, C, about 5 inches, or D, about 13 inches? All right, so the total is 69 49/100, which is estimated to be 69 because the 9 goes to the 4. The 4 says stay the same, so 69 stays 69. Jana is going to cut off 8 25/100 inches. We're going to estimate that. 8 goes to the 2, and the 2 says stay the same. So you're going to first subtract 69 minus 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. Bring down your 6. Okay, so there's 61 inches of wood left. Megan needs to cut off 55 5/10 pieces of inches. Well, 55, 5 goes to the 5 and it says go up. So 5 becomes a 6. So 56 inches. Okay, so it says Kay needs a piece of wood that measures about 55 5/10 inches in length. For a building project, about how many inches will Kay need to cut off the remaining piece of wood to get the final length? Well, if she's cutting off 56, well, she's going to need the whole board, right? So she's only actually cutting off a little piece of it. So we need to find what's left of that wood. 1 minus 6 we can't do, so we have to borrow. 6 becomes a 5, and 1 becomes 11. And then 11 minus 6 is 5. So there will be about 5 inches left of the wood. So yes, she's cutting off 56, but see, 56 wasn't even an option. Okay? So that means there was 5 inches that she's cutting off that was left. Okay? All right, number 2. Brenda bought some bracelets for 5 of her friends. If each bracelet costs $4.32, which is the closest estimate to the amount Brenda paid for all the bracelets? F, $4, G, $20, H, $30, or J, $5? All right. So Brenda bought $4.32 for each bracelet. She bought 5 bracelets. Well, $4.32 added 5 times or multiply, right? But it says which is the closest estimate, which means we have to estimate. So $4.32, the 4 goes to the 3. The 3 says stay the same. So she spent $4 on a bracelet. You can put 4 or you can put 4.00. Both are the same number, right? Times 5. 5 does not estimate because it is a single digit. 4 times 5 is 20, which means $20. Or you could have said $4 times 5. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 4 is 20. Move the decimal 2 places. Either way is correct. But we did it this way because at the time when we learned this, we hadn't learned how to multiply decimals yet. Okay? So in your notes, I believe that's also comes right after page 15. Maybe page 16. Let me look. Where we're, multiplying decimals. So in 14, we added and subtracted decimals. Okay? So look in your notes if you need to. Please use your notes. That's why you have your journals. All right? Number 3. The price of a bottle of orange juice this week is 45 cents more than last week. Last week, the price was $4.90. Isaac wants to buy 11 bottles of orange juice this week. What is the best estimate of the amount of money Isaac will need to buy 11 bottles of orange juice? Okay, so you have to think it was $4.90 last week, and you're going to have to add 45 cents to it. But then it says estimate about how much it would be. Okay, so estimate that. And then he wants to buy 11 of them. So how much would it cost? $5.50, $5, $45, or $55 for 11 bottles of orange juice. All right, so let's think. He bought, last week it was $4.90. This week it is 45 cents more. 9 plus 4 is 13. 4 plus 1 is 5. Bring down my decimal. So now the orange juice costs $5.35 a gallon. Okay? Which when we estimate that, it is 5 goes into 3. The 3 says let it rest. It's just $5 a gallon. He's going to buy 11 gallons for $5 each. That's $55 for 11 gallons of orange juice. Okay? So you see what I did. I took the $4.90 it was. I added 45 cents for each gallon. Okay, so that means each gallon of orange juice is now $5.35. But we're estimating, so that's about $5. 11 times 5, 55. Number 4. Sadie bought 4 bottles of fingernail polish that cost between $2.50 and $5.99. Which of the numbers below could be the price she paid for the nail polish? Okay, this one's kind of tricky. You have to look at a number between $2.50 and $5.99. So between 3 and 6. Okay? Which of the numbers below could be the price she paid for the nail polish? $9.96, $20.20, $24, or $24.44. Okay, so guesstimate-wise, you could say $4, $2.50 and $6, or $2.50 and $5.99, or 3 and 6. You could say $4 times 4 bottles. That's 16. 16 is not an option. You can say $5 times 4 bottles. That's $20. If you said $6 times 4, That's $24. Well, $6 isn't halfway between $2.50 and $5.99, is it? So that's not going to be an option. You can say 3 times 4, and that's 12. Well, that's not an option over here, and that's a little too small, right? So it's going to be between 4 and 5. Well, it's going to be between $16 and $20. The closest answer you're going to get is G, 2020. I really don't like this question. It's kind of a messed up question. But when you are estimating in between numbers, this is the best way. You kind of pick 2 numbers and then find something that matches in between, okay? So, again, don't worry if you're getting these wrong. It's not a big deal. This is review. Okay, number 5. Karen and Tatum both have dogs. Together, the dogs weigh 25 8/10 pounds. If Karen's dog weighs 12 2/10 pounds, about how much will Tatum's dog weigh? 13 pounds, 14 pounds, 15 pounds, or 38 pounds? Okay, well, together the dogs weigh 25 8/10. So 5 is going to round 8. The 8 is going to say go up. So together the dogs weigh 26 pounds. Okay, if Karen's dog weighs 12 2/10 pounds, I'm going to subtract, right? To find out how much is left for Tatum's dog. But it says about, so we have 12 2/10. Rounding, 2 goes to 2. 4 less, let it rest. So that means 2 stays the same. And so the dog weighs 12 pounds. So together they were 25 8/10, which is 26 pounds. Karen's dog weighs 12 2/10. So we're going to say 12 pounds. So whatever's left is going to be Tatum's dog. Six minus 2 is 4, and 2 minus 1 is 1. So Tatum's dog weighs about 14 pounds. Okay, number 6. Michael has run 65 3/10 miles and walked 44 8/10 miles over the past 5 days. If he has gone about the same number of miles each day, what is a reasonable estimate of the distance he has gone in one day? So he runs 65 3/10 miles and walks 44 8/10 miles in 5 days. You need to find out how much he runs and walks all together in one day. So we're looking for reasonable. So we're going to do, it's still reasonable estimation. So the 5 is going to go to the 3. The 3 says let it rest. So 65 miles he runs a week. Crazy man. 44 8/10 miles he walks. So 4 goes to the 8. The 8 says raise the score. So 4 becomes a 5. And 8 becomes a 0. The 3 should become a 0. So he walks 45 miles. So Michael runs 65 miles and walks 45 miles over the past 5 days. So 5 plus 5 is 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So he runs and walks 110 miles in 5 days. If he has gone about the same distance of miles each day, what is a reasonable estimate for the distance he's gone in one day? All right, so 110 and 5, which means we're going to take 110 and divide it by 5 days, because we're looking for how much he does in one day or each day, okay? So 5 can't go into 1, but 5 can go into 11. And if you need to, you should have made a tic-tac-toe board. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. as far as I'm going to go for now. 5 will go into 11 2 times. 5 times 2 is 10. Subtract 1 minus 0 is 0. Oh my goodness, sorry. 1 minus 0 is 1. 0 minus 0 is 0. You just bring that down. So 10. My goodness. Okay, so how many times will 5 go into 10? 2 times again. My head's not here. 2 times 5 is 10. And 10 minus 10 is 0. So he goes 22 miles in one day. Okay, he runs and walks a total of 22 miles in one day. All right. Okay, number 7. All right, we're moving into some models. Larry purchased 4/10 pounds of jelly beans for his niece. If the jelly beans cost 70 cents per pound, which model represents how to determine the amount Larry paid for the jelly beans? All right, so what they're saying is 4/10 jelly beans times 70 cents. 70 cents is a decimal. That's how you write 70 cents in decimal form. Okay, same thing. All right, which model shows 4/10 times 70 hundredths, or 7/10? Okay, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. This, remember, we have to have a horizontal and a vertical. Horizontal and a vertical. And then what's shaded together is their answer, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4/10. So that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/10. So I have 4/10 and 6/10. So that can't be it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/10. So I have 7/10 going horizontal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/10 vertical. So nope. This one doesn't have a horizontal and vertical. It has 2 horizontals. So this one should have automatically been eliminated. 1, 2, 3, 4/10. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/10. So we have our horizontal and we have our vertical. And we have 4/10 and 7/10. So our answer has to be A. Okay. All right. If you have questions, send me notes. I'm going to post a question board thing at the end. So anything that you didn't understand, let me know. All right. Number 8. The model below represents an equation. Which equation could be represented by this model? Okay, remember what I just talked about in the last question. Think hard about what we just talked about. Okay, all right. So your answer is F, G, H, or J. All right, so if you look at it, I have 2/10 shaded vertically. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/10 shaded horizontally. Now, it doesn't matter which way you write it. It could be 0.2 times 0.6 or 0.6 times 0.2. But together, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hundredths shaded together. Okay, so when you look at your answer choices, you need to make sure that you have 2/10 vertical, 6/10 horizontal, so 2.2 times 0.6, but your answer needs to match what is shaded differently or what is combined, okay, where they meet. Remember, where they meet is your answer. All right, so 6/10 divided by 2/10. This is not a division problem, is it? So that should have been eliminated. 6/10 plus 2/10, this is not an addition problem. Okay? Now, look at your last 2 answer choices. It says 60 times 20. These aren't whole numbers, are they? So that one should have also been eliminated, leaving you with just J. 6/10 times 2/10 equals 12/100. Okay? All right, number 9. Number 9 is a little bit different. We've seen it before, but this is one of the ones I really didn't care for. But I want you to try it. The model below represents a multiplication equation. Which equation could be represented by this model? Okay, so look at your answer choices and pick which equation could be represented by this model. Sorry, my dog's going crazy out there. All right, so this is like the area model of multiplication. The only difference is you're multiplying decimals. 9 times tenths and 2/10. Well, if you add 10 hundredths or 0.1 plus 2 hundredths, 0.10 plus 0.02, you get 12 hundredths. Okay? It said multiplication in the problem, so I could have gotten rid of A, because that's division. You could have gotten rid of C, because that's addition. And you could have gotten rid of D, because that's addition. Okay? Process of elimination could have helped you without even having to solve this. But it's 9 times 12 hundredths. And then if you add this up together, 0.9, 0.18, you get 98 hundredths. Whoa, wait. Nine times 10 is 0.90. 9 times 2 is 0.18. Huh. That doesn't represent 1.08, does it? Interesting. T-score got the wrong problem. But it's the only multiplication problem that multiplies 9 times 12 hundredths. I'll look at that one. All right, number 10. The grid shown below equals 1 whole. So this is 1 whole. We know that. The shaded portion of the grid represents a multiplication problem. Which equation best represents the shaded portion of this grid? Okay, so look at your answer choices and look at what you're supposed to do horizontally and vertically and figure out your answer. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 4/10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8/10. So we have an 8/10 and 4/10. So then we have to look at what's shaded in between. This is where they meet, right? So we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. I have 32 shaded, but that's not 32 whole. That's 32 out of 100. So 32 hundredths. Okay, 0.32. The 2 is in the hundredths place. So I have 32 hundredths shaded. So if you look at your answer choices, the only one with 32 hundredths is G. 8/10 times 4/10. F is 8 times 4/10. 8's a whole number. That one could have been eliminated. H is 8 hundredths times 4 hundredths. That would have been 8 little squares and 4 little squares. So that should have been, no. And then 8 times 4 is whole numbers. So either way, you should have eliminated everything except G. Okay, a lot of times with these models, when they're asking you this kind of question, you can eliminate 2 or more sometimes answer choices if you'll just pay attention and know what you're looking for. Okay. Number 11. Jared purchased 6/10 pounds of potatoes that cost 70 cents a pound. Which model represents how to determine the cost of the potatoes? So he purchased 6/10 pounds of potatoes. They cost 70 cents a pound. Which model represents how to determine the cost of the potatoes? So we're looking for the total cost. Okay, so figure out what your answer is going to be and mark your answer on the Ed puzzle. Okay, so if you look at them, this is actually a division problem in it, because 6/10, well, this is not even 6/10. 6/10 would have been like in here somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/10 would have been here. And you would have done it 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is what they did. Yeah. Okay, so that's wrong. B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/10. Okay, so I have a horizontal and a vertical. This is a multiplication problem because he has 6/10 that he purchased at 70 cents a pound. Okay, 70 hundredths or 70 tenths, same problem, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/10 6 times. Okay, but we didn't say 6 whole. We said 6/10. Okay, these are each 1 whole unit. The same thing. You have 3, 4, 5, 6 shaded, so you have 6/10, but you have it 7 times. So again, that's not right. 7/10 times 6/10. Anytime you're doing a decimal times a decimal, your model is going to look like this 90% of the time. Okay? When you're doing a decimal times a decimal, you're going to have a vertical and a horizontal. So your answer would have been B. Number 12. Which model represents the product of 3 5/10 and 9/10? Which model represents the product of 3 5/10 times 9/10? Okay, so this one's a little bit different. And so I'm just going to go through this one with you. But the answer is J. And here's why. 3 9/10. 3 times 9/10 is 2.7. 5/10 times 9/10. Okay, so what they did is they broke apart the first decimal. They broke apart 3.5 so that you multiplied it by first by the whole number and then by the decimal number. Okay, so 3 times 0.9 is, one place, 2.7, and then 0.5 times 0.9 is 45 with 2 places. And then you add 2.7 plus 0.45. And you get 3 15/100. Okay. So 2 7/10 plus 4 5/10. 2 7/10 plus 45/100 equals 315. Or if you just multiplied 3.5 times 0.9, you would have got 3.15. Okay? This one said 4 4/10. This one said 31 5/10. Not 3 15/100. This one said 3 45/100. Okay? All right. Number 13. A base 10 long represents 1 whole. So we're going to say this is 1 whole. Which model represents 2 5/10 times 5? So this time you're looking at a decimal times a whole number. Okay. Decimal times a whole number. This would have been page 19 and 20 in your journal. Okay, if you need to review back. A decimal times a whole number. Page 19 and 20 in your journal. So pick your answer, A, B, C, or D. Okay, so if we're looking at 2 and 5/10, we're looking for 2 of these and then a half of one, right? Well, this is 2 and 5/10 divided into 5 pieces. Nope, we're not dividing. Okay. This one has 2 and 5/10 5 times. This one has 2 and 5/10 times 5/10. Or 2 and 5/10, yeah. 2 holes and 5/10 times 5 holes. This one has 2 and 5/10 times 5/10. Okay, so C and D are out. So when this is the whole number, they're telling you this is whole. That's 1 hole and 2 holes and 5/10. That's 2 and 5/10. 2 and 5/10. 2 and 5/10. 2 and 5/10. 5 times. Repeated addition, right? So your answer is B. Remember, when we're multiplying a whole number times a decimal, you're looking for the decimal number modeled 5 different times, or however many that whole number is. Refer back to your notes, page 19 and 20 if you need to. Okay. 14. A base 10 long. Here you go again. This is a whole. When you see that, it's a whole. Which model represents 3 and 6/10 times 3? Again, we just talked about that. What are you looking for? You're looking for the decimal X amount of times. Okay, so we're looking for 3 and 6/10 3 times. Well, J has 3 and 6/10 times 3 whole. Not what we're doing. Okay, that's not the correct model. Okay, H is 3 and 6/10 and then 3/10. Okay, this one is a division problem. They took 3 and 6/10 and they broke it into 3 pieces. That would be division, and it's not even done correctly. F is 3 and 6/10 modeled, 3 and 6/10 modeled, 3 and 6/10 modeled. 3 and 6/10 modeled 3 different times. Your answer is F. Okay. I skipped number 15. I took it off. I did not like the question. So we're going to go from 14 to 16. Okay. So in the next video, we'll start with number 16. So as of right now, I'm fixing to post a open-ended question. I want to know what you have questions about, what you need help with, so that I know how to help you with tomorrow's assignment. So just tell me the problem numbers that you missed, or that you didn't understand after I reviewed them. Okay, let's do that. Tell me the problems that you needed help on even after I reviewed them, so that tomorrow I can add them into that video. Okay? Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of the class.